This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We're here in Austin, Texas, as we end today's show by looking at the case of Sheikh Zoubir Bouchikhi, who's been held without bail at a private immigration prison in Houston for the past 4 months. Imam Zoubir, as he's known, is a native of Algeria, has lived in the United States for the past 11 years. He has 4 children, 3 of them American-born citizens. He first came to the United States in 1998 on a student visa. He earned a master's degree in Islamic studies, then moved to Houston, where he applied for a religious worker visa and was hired in 2001 by the Islamic Society of Greater Houston, or ISGH, a coalition of mosques and schools. Since then, he's served as the spiritual leader of the Abu Bakr Siddiqui in southeast Houston. In 2003, Imam Zoubir applied for permanent residency status as a religious minister. He also applied for his wife and the couple's oldest child, who was born outside the country. In 2007, the family received a notice that the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services had denied their application. They appealed, but the appeal was rejected in November of 2008. A month later, immigration officials arrested him at his home and led him away in handcuffs in front of his wife and children. He's been held without bail ever since. The case has angered many in the local Houston community who are rallying to support him with letter-writing campaigns, petitions, and websites. A few days ago, I had a chance to interview Imam Zoubir. He called in from the private immigration prison run by the Corrections Corporation of America, where he is being held. This is his first national broadcast interview. I began by asking him to explain why he's being held.
I am here because the ICE is charging me with arriving alien. And I am denied bond because I am under that category called arriving alien, although I have been here in the United States legally for 11 years.
Can you describe how you were arrested? Did you have any warning? What are the reasons that they are giving you now? And have you had a hearing since you were jailed?
Yes. The way I was detained, ICE officers came to my home around 6:30 in the morning, and they were waiting for me because they knew I was at the mosque leading the morning prayer. And they detained me in front of my children while coming back to the house. And my wife kindly requested them that let his children please give him a hug before you take him. And my hands were handcuffed behind my my back, and still they refused, even a hug to their father. I had the chance to be in front of Judge Benton, who belongs to the immigration circle, but they completely refused to give me a bond or to let me go on my recognizance, and this is where I am.
Can you talk about your own family? How old are your children?
Okay, my oldest son is 12 years old, and his younger brother is 10 years old. I have another daughter who is 8 years old, and another daughter who is almost 2 years old.
Are you able to see them?
Yes, I am able, but I cannot see them directly. There is glass between me and them.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about your work in the Mosque of Houston?
Sure. I am an imam here in Houston, Texas. I lead a congregation of almost 700 people in my mosque, which is called Masjid Abu Bakr in southeast of Houston. I belong to an organization called the Islamic Society of Greater Houston, which is my employer. And I do teach my community several things, such as, for example, I counsel them, I perform marriages, I perform funerals and burials. I teach the children values and ethics. I'm very deeply involved in interfaith dialogue and comparative studies. I work with Christian churches, synagogues. I work with the interfaith ministries here in Houston. We do provide food for the hungry, such as Meals on Wheels. And I'm deeply involved in many other activities, such as speaking against injustice, speaking against the war in Iraq. And I think these are some of my problems, how I'm perceived by the authorities.
What do you mean?
I do think that they are just punishing me for helping people and speaking against injustice.
I'm looking at a Houston Chronicle piece of March 6th, and it is quoting an attorney for the Islamic Society of Greater Houston, saying that in 2007, the family received a notice that USCIS revoked the Islamic Society of Greater Houston's petition and denied Bouchikhi's request for permanent residency, your request. According to Cowan, the government said ISGH, the Islamic Society of Greater Houston, had failed to prove Bouchikhi had been continuously employed for the 2 years prior to filing of its petition and had not demonstrated its ability to pay Bouchikhi's salary. The government also questioned why ISGH had not proved Bouchikhi was an imam by submitting a formal certificate of ordination. Can you respond to those points?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that, Ms. Goodman. Actually, every issue mentioned by the USCIS in its letter of notice of intent to revoke on January the 16th, 2007, and I have received this letter 3.5 years after my approval of the I-360. 3.5 years. It has been fully addressed. Everything mentioned in that letter has been fully addressed by my attorney and by my employer, and all documents requested were made available on February the 15th, 2007. So we were perplexed by this statement and this allegation that we didn't have enough documents. Still, we went and gave them everything they asked. The concerns raised by the USCIS have changed at each stage. Each stage, the USCIS sent us a letter. Each time, there is what we call a change of arguments. So we knew that they were not really trying to help me, because each time we answered their letters, they come up with something new.
That issue of a certificate of ordination?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. In Islam, we don't have an ordination, unlike maybe Catholicism or other faiths, where a religious leader is given something by a higher authority. In Islam, we go by the amount of knowledge that the person has in this field of Islamic studies. So having 2 master's degrees in Islamic studies, I am fully qualified to be an imam, and we have given them everything.
Are you acting as an imam in the detention center? Are you leading prayers?
Yes. I'm leading the prayer. I'm counseling the inmates. I'm even talking to non-Muslims, helping them with their problems. And we are being discriminated against even here inside the CCA.
How?
Okay, for example, there was a huge problem about the kufi that I use, which is a head cover. 49 days after my detention, there was no problem. After 49 days, they raised this problem, and they told me that you need to take it off. You have no right to walk in the hallways with it. And I told them, even in Guantanamo, the detainees have the right to wear the headscarf if they want, their head covers if they want. And I didn't keep quiet. I took it to the higher authorities here, and they finally accepted that I use it with a pass.